How do you hear? Subcommittee will come to order. I ask unanimous consent that the chair be authorized to declare a recess at any time without objection. So ordered. Without objection, the first reading of the bill is dispensed with, and the mark is open to amendment at any point. Without objection, members have 5 legislative days within which to submit written statements to be made part of the record. So ordered. Okay, I'd like to take a moment for a few remarks, and I'd like to commend our members, particularly on this subcommittee, for their efforts and support in putting together the subcommittee markup package in a bipartisan fashion. Thank you in particular to my friend, former chairman, ranking member, Garamendi, for his partnership throughout this process. And I'll just say as an aside, one of the reasons I really fought to stay with this subcommittee so that we could continue this partnership and build on the progress of the last few years when it comes to our military readiness. I think there's many things to be proud of in this subcommittee, Mark. Of note, this package withholds funding from the Department of the Navy until they deliver an initial report on the maintenance and sustainment of our amphibious warship fleet, which this committee as a whole and the subcommittee in particular have been asking for some time. The secretaries of the military departments are required to develop and implement guidance on mitigating harmful encroachment near military installations, something the ranking member has been very focused on, and I think we all need to be focused on, particularly when with regards to land purchases made by entities backed by the Chinese Communist Party. Also of note, and of particular importance in light of Putin's illegal aggression in Ukraine, it mandates that the Department of the Defense eliminate reliance on Russian energy for all installations within European command. That astounds me that this committee is having to push that with the department, but this is yet another instance where Congress can help the department move in the right direction. It also directs the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment to report on foreign control and influence over the supply chain for critical minerals and metals used for defense technologies. Unfortunately, I do remain concerned about our ability to project power and sustain operations around the globe, particularly within Indo-PACOM. And for that reason, we have multiple provisions to get after that by directing reports on fuel supplies, on refueling capabilities, on pre-positioning of supplies, and of ship sustainment. And I'd also like to use this opportunity to urge a timely defense appropriation. That's on both sides of the aisle. Without an on-time budget, the department is unable to begin any new projects and must operate under the previous fiscal year's budget numbers. With a pacing threat like China, we cannot handicap ourselves any further. And lastly, I'd like to thank the efforts of our great staff. Today's markup would not have been possible without the help from our professional staff members, Patrick Nevins, Kyle Noyes, Whitney Verrett, Drew Kennedy, Dan Hughes, Janine Womble, Sapna Sharma, our subcommittee research assistant, Ethan Pelsier, and my personal office staff, Thomas Boudry, Hector Arguello, and Bruce Kimbrell. Go Navy for Bruce. Thank you to our members and staff for their diligent work thus far. I look forward to continuing our work together to ensure the readiness of the department and their equities are represented during the full committee markup throughout the NDAA process. The chair will now recognize Mr. Garamendi, the ranking member on this subcommittee, for any opening comments he would like to make.
Thank you, Chairman Waltz. It's been a great pleasure working with you and carrying on the work of the previous years and on to additional issues that you've brought forward. You're doing a great job chairing this. And once again, this Readiness Mark is a product of bipartisan engagement from all of the members of the subcommittee, and my thanks to each and every member. I think almost all of us are here at the dais. I appreciate your leadership, Mr. Chairman, ensuring that the tradition is continued, and congratulate you on your first mark in the chairman's role. In addition, I'd like to thank, as I just said, the members of the subcommittee for all that they have done. It's been 6 months that we've put since the oversight hearings that have informed this contents of this hearing and this mark. The chairman, the staff has done a terrific job, countless hours. You mentioned all their names, so I will not go back again, except to say we ought to, but they've done terrific work and really appreciate that. The jurisdiction of the Readiness Subcommittee is very, very broad in scope, and our work is never complete. This year, I'm particularly proud of the continued work to strengthen the organic industrial base. Last year has illustrated that modern depots, shipyards, and arsenals are vital to our national defense, and there's no finer workforce than those who use their talents to sustain and modernize our weapon systems. They are always there so that our service members are ready when called upon. This mark also continues our work to hold the department accountable for meeting its readiness and sustainment goals, ensuring that the taxpayers receive the full benefit of the significant investments that we've made in our state-of-the-art weapon systems. There's still considerable improvement needed in this area, but this mark will continue our work to ensure that better weapons sustainment across the entire military does happen. We can go on and on with all of the various issues within the mark, but I think I will not do that at this time. The mark that members have before them is a good work product. It reflects the bipartisan nature of the subcommittee's work and the individual suggestions of the members of this subcommittee. I encourage my colleagues to support the mark. Thank you, Mr. Waltz.
Thank you, Mr. Garamendi. We will now proceed to the markup of H.R. 2670, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2024. Copies of our subcommittee mark and directive report language will be made available and distributed to member offices, or have been distributed to member offices, on Friday, June 9th. Is there any discussion or questions on the subcommittee mark? Nope, not this one. Oh, all right. Okay, if there's no further discussion, there obviously wasn't any, the chair lays before the members the text of the subcommittee mark for consideration.
Next page.
All right. Flip the page, Waltz. All right. Are there any amendments to the subcommittee mark? Nope. Okay. The question now occurs on the adoption of the mark. So many as are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The mark is adopted. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Wilson, for the purpose of a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the subcommittee report the mark favorably to the full committee.
The question is on the motion of the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Wilson. So many as are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. A quorum being present, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I ask unanimous consent that staff be authorized to make necessary conforming technical and clerical changes and to remove from the mark provisions that would cause the mark to refer to other committees or would result in additional direct spending. Without objection, so ordered. There being no further legislative business before this subcommittee, this meeting is adjourned, and I thank genuinely all of the members who are pulled in 1,000 different directions for their focus on this important subcommittee. And we are adjourned.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.